What's up, guys? Bill here from Evil Olive. I said a couple months ago I posted a picture up of my monk here that I had built, and I said I was going to do a review on it when I got a little closer, mainly because I wanted to build like 5 more of these. I don't have as much room as I need right now in my garage, so having to store these things was an issue. But some people were posting some other pictures and asking questions about other ones, so I happened to comment on it and decided I was finally going to do my video for it. So I'm going to go over everything that I use. I know there's other videos out there right now, but I kind of blended my technique with some other people and tried a few other different things, so my way's a little bit different. I made this guy for about 20 bucks, which is pretty good. It could be done cheaper, it could be done more expensive, but this is the way I'm doing it for our haunt. So I'm going to go through all the materials. I'm going to go step by step. This is going to be kind of a long video, but I'm going to do a lot of time lapse in it to make up for that and put notes on there where I can. That being said, I'm going to put down somewhere over here how long of footage I actually took, and then over here how long the video actually is, and then somewhere in the middle I'm going to put how long it actually took me to edit this. These videos take quite a bit of production time. I try and do a good quality video for you guys, and you know, do some good effects and put notes in there and make sure everything's real nice, because I don't like videos with shaky hands up on cardboard boxes, and so I try and do a good job. So if you guys can, if you like my videos, please subscribe, follow me on Facebook, follow me on YouTube, all that good stuff. That's what really, you know, makes it all worth it, because I enjoy doing these videos. I do have a haunt that I'm trying to build right now, so this does take quite a bit of time out of my haunt, but you know, I like to help the community, and I think, you know, everyone giving their own input on it is what helps the industry grow and make this a really fun, although sometimes creepy, macabre family. So with that, welcome to the Olive Jar. Alright guys, so I'm going to give you a little quick tour of my monk first, and then we'll go into the material list, and then we'll go into actually building it. So first off, I made him about 6.5 feet tall. I'm about 6 foot tall, and the average person is right around 6 feet or just under, so I wanted this to look kind of tall and menacing no matter what. I could have gone taller, but then it gets, you know, harder to actually lay the drop cloth down on them. I'm hoping to have 5 of these in one actor, and they're going to line a hallway in our narrow church, and you're going to have to walk between them, just for them to look menacing. So this guy's about 6.5 feet tall. He's about 30 inches wide. You know, you can change that to whatever dimensions you want, but all the numbers I'm going to run down with you for the frame that I built for this guy is going to be based off those measurements. So what I'm going to give you is exactly how to do it, and I'll put a little list thing up on the side or over here or something as I say it, so you can write it down or screenshot it, whatever. This is the full figure here, and I think it's probably 7 or 9 pieces of drop cloth, and I'll go through and count them out that I used, and I just sort of layered them to get the right look here. And this is just a tinted base. I'll go over that with you too, because I'm going to have some lighting on this guy that's going to change the color, and I'll put a picture up of, I put some blue and red and green light on him when it was dark on. That completely changed the look. If you saw my other video on lighting, I use a lot of colored lights to change the effect and colors of my props that I build to my advantage, so I don't have to get as detailed when I build them. So basically, and one thing I'm going to do different is I'm not going to leave a separation here in the arms. They're gonna meet in the center, just because I don't know what I'm going to do for hands. You can leave it open like this if you have like some skeleton hands or something that you want to use, but I really wanted to avoid that, and I had forgotten about it, so this one, unfortunately, I'm just going to put another piece over. But I'm going to have the sleeves meet in the center. But I do have one of my PVC candles here, so I do have a piece of 2x4 in there. I'm going to refer to that as my candle holder, but that also helps to brace the arms. This is a pool noodle, and if we look up, you can kind of see I've got a rigid foam skull in there. I make those as well and sell them, just to put something in there. But if you have a mask, you can put a mask in there, whatever you want to do. So I've got a 2x4 frame, and I'll go over the numbers as once I build it. It's about, I think, 27.5 inches wide. The upright is 5.5 feet tall, I've got another small piece going across to brace for the arms, and then I have another small piece, 1x3, up there that the skull is mounted to. And obviously I do have the back left open, and that's because this is going to be lining a hallway. So if you're going to have people walk around it, it's nothing to throw another piece over the back, just real simple to box it in. But this is a real easy way to see how I did it. You can see I've got one part of a pool noodle going up to form the arches of the shoulders. I have that zip tied in at the neck. Down to the other side, I have another pool noodle going across for where the arms would be. And then I have that kind of surrounded with chicken wire. And I only did the chicken wire just below the arms, and the sleeves are actually encased in chicken wire as well. And then I just let it kind of drop. And as this is drying, I'm constantly moving it. You can see I saw I'm taking that part of a pool noodle out just to wedge it so so the front kicked out a little bit. But this is it. It's pretty simple. Another reason I left the back open is so that I can attach here. I have another 2x4 coming off and go right to our walls. We are in the South, and we do have some teenagers come through who think they're tough guys and decide to mess with some stuff. So not that one of these falls over. These will all be hard mounted to the walls, just so that nothing happens to them. And then I have chicken wire going around for the head as well. I don't know. You can see up in there a little bit. But that's it. It's pretty simple. So I'm going to go through the supply list real quick, and then we'll start construction. So I just went ahead and I cut the wood because we're all hunters here. We know how to use a chop saw. So I just went ahead, I cut the wood, and I assembled it. There's no need to watch me do that, but I will go over with you what sizes all the pieces are in that. We'll start at the base here. So you can kind of see how I did that. Now, like I said, this is for my size statue. If you're doing one the same size, you can use this. Obviously, the bigger the base, the more sturdy it is. So if you have this out in a cemetery scene or something where it's not around anything, if it's windy or something, you might want to make this a little bit bigger or stake it into the ground if you're able to. But like I said, we're going to attach this to our walls in our church so we don't have to worry about it. But basically, our back piece here is 12 inches long, and that's screwed into our upright. And then our front piece is 6 inches, and our sideways brace here is 24, and those are screwed together. And then I screwed this to the upright. Our upright is 66 inches, or 5 foot 6 inches tall, and that's all the way up to our peak here. And I cut that at 50 degrees. And then I have this 1x3 that is 9 inches, and that is what our skull mounts to, or a mask or whatever. And I'll show you again what kind of the angle looks like. You can't really see unless you look up in there, which is kind of what I wanted. Coming from the side, I didn't want anything, but I figured there's going to be someone who looks up in there, so we may as well have something. So that's screwed in, like I said, 9 inches at 50 degrees. And then from the top of our upright, if we go down 20 inches to the bottom here, that's where I put the candle table in. So, and that piece is 8 inches, and the arms are going to rest right here on that. You can see again over here how that works. And also I got to drill a little hole, but I have a hole drilled in this one for the wiring to run through, so it can be hidden. And then from that piece right above, I've got this the arm brace, which is just I think this was a fairing strip, just some miscellaneous wood I had laying around, just to kind of know my limit to where my elbows are, and then to attach the chicken wire to. So this I even just have one screw in. So that's our frame. I used, I think, 2 8-foot 2x4s for this, and I still had half one left, and then the miscellaneous. And you can use 2x4s for all of it, but I try and save those because I need those for structural stuff. But all right, let's go take a look at our materials. First things first, the base. This is what I use. This is a drop cloth. This is from Walmart. I'm going to try and look up prices, and I'll put them on the side. This is the cheapest drop cloth. It's an 8x12. It's got a plastic liner on it on the back, which I try and keep on the back. But I mean, once you soak this stuff in the monster mud, it does just fine. Canvas would be heavier duty, but I said I'm doing a couple of these. I wanted to go a little cheaper, so I went with these. Chicken wire. This is just your standard 1-inch chicken wire. We'll use this for a bit of the form. Then we've got our all-purpose joint compound. I'm not exactly sure how much I used in the first batch. I want to say it was probably the equivalent of about 12 pounds, maybe a little bit more. This is the base for your monster mud. And what I mix my Monster Mud with instead of exterior paint is I use Kills, which is an exterior sealer, latex sealer. So this will help boost the properties of weather and waterproofing it. I'm still going to seal on top of it, but rather than just using exterior paint, it's got a little extra properties in it. And that's also a white. I will be tinting it with just Walmart paint. This is acrylic paint. Obviously, if you were to get latex paint or have either this or a regular exterior latex paint tinted would be better. But I just use this burnt umber just because, like I said, I'm planning on doing most of my coloring with light. So as long as it's got a base tint. Then we've got our drill and our paddle stirrer to mix up the Monster Mud, because you always want to make sure that's getting mixed. I mix my regular Monster Mud without any tint in one bucket, and I transfer it to another bucket when I tint it. So untinted in one master bucket, that way if I need just a little bit more, or I end up having extra, I don't waste it. Like if this was the only one I was doing, and then I ended up with, half a bucket of brown tint. I also have a spray bottle, which I'll use just to wet it down if it's stiffened up a little bit, or to spray my sealer on afterwards. These are the resin foam skulls that I make. There's other companies out there that make them. You can buy your own molds and cast your own, but I cast a ton of these for the season. These are the ones that I sell. This is what's going to go on for the head. And then always just extra buckets of water, because this is a little bit messy. Right now in Tennessee, it's about 104 degrees out, so I'm not going to be doing this outside. I'll be doing it in my garage, so I have a cheap, crappy, half-used drop cloth that will be going down. If you do this outside, it's easier for cleanup, especially in grass. However, in sunlight, it wants to dry the Monster Mud quicker, so doing it inside, and plus you don't have to worry with wind, because the first one I built actually fell over on me and was a huge mess. Lots of foul language. Not fun. So we're going to be doing this one inside, so make sure you cover your floor if you're doing it inside, because it will get messy. There around that. And pool noodle. I only used, I might have used two. No, I only used one. However, if you have two, it's easier, because I remember I was real close on my cuts. This is just your standard size pool noodle. It's 94 cents at Walmart. But all right, let's get the camera set back up and get to production here. I just cut my chicken wire, because once again, you guys know how to cut chicken wire. All right, so this is poultry netting, to be exact. Close up. Close up. So 1 inch, it's 25 feet of it, 2 foot wide. So the first piece that I cut right here, this is 4 feet, so 48 inches. This is for the body, so this is going to be about like this. And I'm going to cut a hole so that the candle table comes out through it. This will be pushed up, so this will be the chest and the shoulders. I have another piece that is 12 inches, and this is for the hood. We're going to form this to be the hood once the skull is up there. There was one more piece that I cut that was 20 inches, and then I cut that in half diagonally. And this is for each sleeve. So you can kind of see this is how it's going to be, about like that. And this will be around the arms. And just the top, just about the top 2 inches or so will curl around the pool noodle, but you'll see as I start getting this up there how it all comes in. Okay, so for some reason I forgot the order that I did this in, but before we put the chicken wire up, we have to form the shoulders. So to do that, so I found the center of my noodle, and I found the center of my noodle, and I slit half of it open so that we could I put in a 6-inch piece of another fairing strip. This is just a little, you see it's like a 1x2. And what this is going to do, it's going to drill 2 holes here. I'm going to put a zip tie around this to hold it, and this will get screwed on here, and then we can bring our shoulders down like this. And they'll sit actually on top of where the arms are. So that's what we're doing right now. And I lied about the time lapse. Obviously, I'll do that once I start with the monster run, but until then, I'm just going to do this in little small segments. So you get it. Okay, guys. So I got the pool noodle secured, 2 screws into the neck piece. I got the zip tie in that, holding that together. So right now the noodle, it's pretty loose. So I mean, I still have some play with it. It's going to sit actually on top of the noodle that goes across for the arms. But right now this was our 4 feet piece of chicken wire. So what I did before I set it up here is I found the exact center in the links. And what I did over here is I just cut for the width of my 2x4. I cut 2 rows up, 3 wide, and that let it sit over the 2x4. And I just kind of bent that back and tacked it in with some staples, probably about 3 inches from the upright. And then up top, I followed that center all the way up top, and I cut down 4 links. I just sort of bent those in a little bit to give a little more clearance here, because this is where the skull's going to sit. Soon I'm going to put this up here. This will be about like that, and I'm just going to put 2 screws in from the back. And then I came over, and unless you're using this exact size chicken wire, it's not going to be the same. So I mean, just once you start forming it, you'll know how it's supposed to look. But if I turn it to the side here, you see I got the front is pretty straight. So I just counted off. This happened to be just like the other one. I was 7 links off the end, and then links 3 and 4 I stapled up to my arm brace. So now when my arm brace is straight, the bottom is going to be straight. So when I find my links where I'm going to cut for the shoulders and fold those back, both sides will be even. You don't have to get this critical. I have OCD. People hate me for it, but that's just the way I do things. So next I'm going to find where I got to cut the shoulders. I'm going to cut them and fold them back, and then we'll start, I'll cut the holes for where the arms are going to go. Alright guys, just want to take a quick second here to show you this corner so you can kind of see where I had cut a couple of the links out to slide my arm piece in. It's underneath my shoulder piece, which is still on here, which is still loose. It's only being kind of held up by the chicken wire and the piece up there. Just fits kind of snug. So here you can see where I cut out, and you want to be careful. Keep a pair of needle nose pliers when you start cutting these to be able to fold these back. Also, don't let your kids do this. I can't tell you how many holes I already have in my hands from chicken wire. I hate chicken wire. But all you're going to do, make the hole as small as possible, because that keeps the form in the right proportion. Just kind of get it so it slides in there carefully. And all my open links that I end up cutting, once I'm all done, I take my pliers and I kind of twist them and fold them back over, grabbing onto whatever they can, especially up by the shoulders when you have 2 pieces overlapping, because that just kind of adds some structure to it. So with this in here, you can see how far out the arms come, which for me is too far. So I'm going to keep pulling this back until I get this at the right radius, and this is a little bit closer up to here. And then I will cut my excess off the back here. That's about how I want it. So I have to tweak it a little bit. Once you get in there, you'll know what I'm talking about almost instantly, because you just kind of have to fight the chicken wire, because there's no way you can form it perfectly. So that's the arms. So I'll get ready and we'll come back for the shoulders. Okay guys, so what I ended up doing, I said this was my center and I had come 4 links down. So what I did is I came over 7, I cut there and I cut 7 links down, and I folded the side back, and then I brought the rest of the front over, and I brought it over about 2 or 3 links, and then I retwisted all those little, each link that I had cut, I retwisted each one back over. And I did that on both sides. So I'll turn this way so you can kind of see a little bit better. You can see that seam there, but when it's all the way sideways, you can see the chest, it's a little pushed out, and then it sucks in at the top. But since we're going to have a couple different layers between our shoulders, the front piece, and then our hood, that'll hide that. But we wanted this part right here to be pretty much straight, which we're pretty good where we're at right now. I got staples tacked in on the candle table and on the back of the arm brace. These bottom corners in the back, I just kind of bent them up out of the way, because those are usually the first things to snag you when you're working back here. Before brain fart, that's bad. Gonna mount the skull, and we're gonna make the hood, and I'll come back and I'll show you how we did all that. And I just cut myself again. Awesome. Okay, so I decided to do the arms before I did the hood. So this side is already done. So what I did is I just took my very last, is that in the picture? There we go. I just took the very top link that I had slit, and I had tied that off to the first link that I had slit for the armhole. And then off here I had to come over about 4 links and 3 down, and I cut those so I could wrap this tightly around where the hands would be. And then I was able to contour the rest of this over, so you can kind of see how it hangs. But this side I had just cut, I hadn't put it up yet, but you can see here and I turned these down and just stuck them into the foam to hold it. But here's 4 links over and 3 down. You can see how it's separate, so that way I can put this one down and then fold this one over and it crosses, and I can tie those links together, and then that will give me a similar hang. So I'm going to go ahead and button this side up, and then I'll come back and finish up the hood. So got the hood formed out here. Basically I just went straight around with it, and wherever it looked somewhat natural, how a normal hood would kind of hang around you, that's where I had attached it. And then I slid about 10 links up from the back so I could collapse it over itself and get it to form the rear. You can see the seam right up there. But we're all framed up here. I got the skull on there, so I'm going to go ahead and put a plastic bag over this, and then mix up my monster mud, and I got all my pieces cut too. So I basically just took the drop cloth out and kind of started cutting strips. So this one is about the width of his chest, inside the arms. A hole cut here for the candle holder, so I'm going to put this in from the top, slide it over, kind of stretch it out, and tuck this part into his neckline. Then I've got 2 more pieces over here, and this is going to be his sides, which this actually won't go up next, but this is going to kind of overlap over here, and I'll kind of fold this around. It'll be covered by the hood at the top, so we can get kind of messy, but it'll help hold everything up there. But before the sides go on, we've got the sleeves, because the sleeves will be covered by the sides. That kind of what helps hide, because it's connected up here. So I got some smaller strips here, and this is just going to go over the inside of the arms, maybe about 4 or 5 inches. And then I'll fold this side around and tuck this side in, and that will give the shape. And then I'll overlay the sides over that. And then the last piece is the hood. And I've just got kind of a larger rectangle. And this is, I'm going to kind of play with, because I'm going to have the front come down farther than my chicken wire is. And then I'm going to kind of push the sides kind of up and just make it like that long flowing hood. So, but like I said, first we're going to put a plastic bag over the skull so we don't mess up our paint. I got my hole drilled for the candle. If you're doing any other wiring on this, if you plan on having lights inside the hood, inside the skull or mask or anything you're doing like that, make sure you have holes drilled and make sure you have access to it once everything else is on. With the chicken wire, fold all the open ends in anywhere in the back, because if you go to reach through for something, you'll snag your hand and rip it open. So I guess let's start mixing and pouring. Alright guys, that's it. We're finally done. It's been a day. When you do your first one, obviously like I said, I'm a little OCD, so everything had to be kind of perfect, and doing it with chicken wire takes a little more time. So I've been at this guy probably about four hours now, and it's probably a little bit longer too because I hit the camera and stopped and explained and making sure I could tell you guys everything through the video. But make sure there's monster mud all over my floor. Thankfully I put the drop cloth down. As you saw, those having the big piece of drop cloth get heavy, you put them up, they want to slide down, so it takes a while. It's still wet now. I went ahead and I put a screw in here just to kind of lift the arms up to hold them up a little bit to straighten out my sleeves. But overall I'm pretty happy with it. This is probably going to take like a day to dry. Actually no, it's probably going to take about 2 or 3 days, honestly, just because of the humidity. And the monster mud's a little thick on there. The thicker you put it on, the longer it takes to dry. But what I'll do is I'm going to let this dry overnight, and tomorrow I'm going to come in and mix some more up and go in the back where the chicken wire is and smear some in there, and then kind of press this, the drop cloth, which is partially dried, back against it, and that's going to help bond that to the chicken wire because it's hard when it's wet to get it to stick all the way. So once it hardens up a little bit, I'll be able to play with it a little more. And then I'll reshape just a little bit where I can, just kind of moving things in and out, not necessarily shaping, because by then you want to get all your creases and folds the way you want them. But as you can see, it looks pretty good from the front. There's a couple spots you can see light through the back, but we're going to have light coming from above down. It's going to be dark, so that's going to be fine. So we used just over half of one drop cloth, one 8x12 drop cloth, so you won't be able to get 2 out of 1, but small pieces are good for, the arms and the hood, so if you're doing multiples of these, it is a chore. The chicken wire, my hands are all cut up, so if you were to do more than one of these, I'd say build all your frames at once. Then another day do all your chicken wire, all your forming, just because it is a very labor-intensive process. But we're done here, so I'm going to clean up. It's going to take me probably a half hour to put all this stuff away and get the garage back organized. I'm going to try and get this video uploaded as soon as I can, hopefully within a day or two, because I know you guys are asking a lot of questions about it. But once again, if you like these videos, please like, share, subscribe, follow me on YouTube. Make sure you like the Facebook Evil Olive page. I do go a little bit out of my way to make these videos. I do try and do it, in a manner that's, good to watch, fun to watch. It's informative. I know this one's going to be kind of long, but I'd rather you guys get all your questions answered than have to go to another video to find something else. So with that, like I said, like, subscribe, share, follow, all that good stuff. I am making props now. I'm making chest pieces, I'm making hands, I'm making feet, a lot of gory stuff. So make sure you check those pictures out on my page. You can email me directly at bill@eviloliveproductions.com, or just send me a message through Facebook or whatever. I just get my foot in the door with this stuff, but they're coming out pretty good. I'm pretty happy with them. So looking to do a lot more, looking to do more videos, and hunt season's coming up, so we're going to have a lot more videos, so make sure you stay tuned. So thanks again for thinking inside the jar.